Lutheran theology has something called the theology of the cross, and the idea that God is found hidden in those places where we would least expect to find God, which is crucified on the cross. So if we are looking for the presence of God in the world, we have to go to those places where people are being, in a sense, crucified today, where they're being oppressed, where they are living in poverty, where environmental devastation is taking place. And when we go to those places, when we go to those cross-shaped places today, that's where we find God hidden in those places. 30 minutes north of where I am here in Lewisburg, there was a mobile home park called Riverdale. It is located right along the Susquehanna River. And it was a community of low-income veterans, disabled people. They had lived in this mobile home park for, over 30 years. But a company bought the land out from under the landowner in order to put in a water withdrawal plant to sell water from the Susquehanna River, which is our commonwealth. They're going to make a profit on this and sell it to the fracking industry. And so all of the families were being evicted from their homes. And so I was called upon as one of the faith leaders in this area to advocate for these families, to say this isn't right, that they should just be evicted from their homes. So first of all, we tried to say, can you go someplace else? But it was very interesting. They specifically targeted this low-income area. This is where they wanted to put this. So there was no talking them out of that. And then we tried to advocate for more time because they only had a couple weeks to be able to move. We also tried to advocate for more money for them for moving expenses, and also just to let there be awareness that this was going on, that this industry that is often touted as being very pro-jobs and very good for Pennsylvania, well, for these Pennsylvanians, it's not so good. So in the midst of this, what I saw was the interfaith community and really people from all over the state, really all over the eastern seaboard, came to Riverdale and camped out. And what I would call creating a sort of resurrection community, even in the midst of this devastation. I mean, because people were stripping their mobile homes to try to sell the metal just to get a little bit of money to pay for moving expenses. It was so sad to see this. But in the midst of this, they saw that people were coming to their aid, trying to speak with them and for them. And so in the midst of this, I saw hope that this was not the final word, that there was resistance to the powers. There was a group of people saying, we see what's going on, we notice it, we're calling it to account, and we're standing with these people. They ended up, most of them, draining their life savings to have to move into very small apartments. What happened, this was in the Williamsport area, you had a lot of out-of-state workers coming in for the fracking industry. And so people that owned properties saw an opportunity to jack up the rents. So where they were paying, where the Riverdale residents were paying like a $200 monthly fee, they were having to pay $500, $600, $700 to move into very small efficiency apartments, or having to move into with family members, or going to other mobile home parks that were not nearly as safe. What happened to these people was a diaspora. And before this happened, we actually had an interfaith service there in the mobile home park where we took water from the Susquehanna River, because the residents realized too that the whole ecosystem was going to be disrupted by this plant being there. They were mourning the loss of their homes, the loss of this beautiful natural area. They were losing their community. And so we had a service where we had readings from the Muslim tradition, from Judaism, from Christianity, from Buddhism, saying that, you know, in the case of justice, we need to come together and we need to speak on behalf of those who are oppressed. And we lit candles for all 32 of the families. And at the end had a prayer circle where we held hands. And it was a very moving experience to see, even in the midst of this loss, people coming together and saying, this isn't right, and we're noticing.